know that you're always very coy about bringing Starrcast back because it's a giant hassle. I should say hassle, a giant labor of love for you when Starrcast comes around. What made you decide now was the right time to do this, Conrad?
Well, a lot of things. I kind of had the itch, I guess, to see if I could deliver something that I tried to deliver back, 3 years ago now, the Roast of Ric Flair. We were all set to go in Las Vegas for Starrcast 2, which at the time was the very biggest one we'd ever done. And I thought, man, what a really cool event. And then, of course, Rick wound up hospitalized and it didn't work out. And I thought, you know what? He's no longer with WWE. He's available. I floated it past and the ball started rolling and it got a little bigger and a little bigger. And then I had to figure out, well, so when do we do it? And now AEW has their own fan fest with their deal with Turner. And I didn't really want to cannibalize one of their events. And I think a lot of WrestleCon and Michael Bakikio and all the folks at High Spot. So I didn't really want to jump in, and do something at WrestleMania. And of course, I love Tracy Myers and the WrestleCade folks. So I don't really want to do something Survivor Series. So, man, SummerSlam just represented an opportunity. Nashville is going to get a stadium show, the first one ever. And it's like 2 hours from my house. So as a lot of businesses come to be, you just look for opportunities and then you say, okay, what about this? And it doesn't hurt that I'm friendly with Jeff Jarrett, and I think he could be the freaking mayor of Nashville. So he knows everybody and everything. And one thing led to another. And now here I am, Nick, doing it again, talking to you about it.
So when I see that you're running WWE weekend, I've been a part of or at every Starrcast, right, in some form or fashion.
Thank you.
And of course, yeah, it's a wonderful time. It's like pro wrestling Woodstock. With the previous ones, there was always like an AEW tie-in, and there was like AEW talent that would come and do panels and stuff like that. With you sharing space with WWE SummerSlam, are we going to see any WWE tie-ins like we used to see with the AEW stuff?
No, I mean, we were always sort of the unofficial fan fest, if you will, of AEW. We weren't technically, I mean, it's always been independent and it'll always be independent. And it just wound up, I just had a bunch of my friends over, and it turned out that a lot of my friends happened to work for AEW and they were willing and able to let some of their talent do it. So it just made sense. But Starrcast actually predates AEW. I mean, we piggybacked All In. I saw an opportunity with Cody and the Bucks running their first big mega show. And I thought, man, this is a cool opportunity. Somebody's going to do it. Why not partner with these guys and say, hey, let's do it together? And they loved the idea. So I kind of became an accidental promoter. But to answer your question, no, we're not a WWE co-opted thing. I know that a lot of people would say, oh, but I mean, what about WrestleCon? What about WrestleCade? Those things aren't necessarily affiliated with a company. We never have been. Certainly we had some talent, but I mean, as you recall, once upon a time, we promoted The Undertaker at Starrcast 2, and that didn't work out, but he was still technically doing stuff with WWE, as did Bruce at Starrcast 2. But no, those guys are going to have their hands full. They're going to be putting on one of, if not the biggest SummerSlam ever. And I think they're actually in Atlanta the night before. So no, there won't be a big WWE presence as far as the current roster. But as you and I are recording, I think it's been announced that we've got one of the biggest Hall of Famers and legends of all time who will be there. Mr. Bret Hart will be joining us to discuss SummerSlam 1992 on the darn near 30-year anniversary. It is the 30th anniversary of SummerSlam, but on a calendar, SummerSlam back then was in August, but you get the idea. I thought, man, what better way to really set off a SummerSlam weekend than talking about one of the most, if not the most famous SummerSlam match ever.
Well, that's right.